Thank you very much. As I said, I represent over 400 members of my Ngambri people, the people for whom Canberra is named. My first Anglo ancestor in this land is the man that mountain behind you, if you have a look there, is named for, James Ainsley, who came here in 1825 and fathered a daughter to a Ngambri woman. Her daughter is Junamingo, which means born by the grass tree. Junamingo had a daughter who was Sarah. Sarah had a daughter who was Florence. Florence had a daughter who was Adelaide. Adelaide had a daughter who was Leslie, my mother. My mother had a daughter who is Lisa. Lisa has two daughters, Kelly and Deanna. Kelly and Deanna have three daughters. 9 generations in a consecutive line of Ngambri women. And that's very important because in Ngambri country, your totem is handed down the matriarchal line. But more importantly, you can prove your birth mother, but not necessarily your father, which means nobody can deny my connection to this country. Nobody. It's my great pleasure to do what my ancestors have done for tens of thousands of years in making you welcome here today, in giving you an ochre ceremony. This is a very special thing to do. When people would come to this country from other lands, they would wait on our borders, which were rivers. They would light a fire, our people would see the smoke, and they would go down and make them welcome to country with an ochre ceremony. And it's a very simple ceremony. The ochre rises, and it drifts, and it falls. And the symbolism of this is to honour our land and our ancestors, and to make people welcome, and for them to understand that the rising of the ochre and the drifting, and as it falls, so too do our differences, and we are united as one. A very special welcome to Ngambri country for you, Alan. And to Pat and Andy Gabb, a very, very special welcome for organising this event and coming all the way from Victoria to be here today. And to the people that I've met from Western Australia, from far north Queensland, from Victoria and all over New South Wales, Yeramura Ngambri Dara. Welcome to country in my Walgaloo language. If I could have that flag, please, Paul. And Pat, if you could join me, please. Join me here in the spirit of reconciliation and in the care of this country and in the stopping of these turbines. As I drove past the Capital Wind Farm this morning from Collector, not a single blade was turning. Not an ounce of power was being generated. Not a damn thing. Worthless, useless things. Please pass that flag around and enjoy that flag.
Thank you.
I have a message to you here this morning from Madrid. This is from the World Council of Nature, or World Council for Nature, from their chairman, Marc Duchamp. Ladies and gentlemen, present and future victims of so-called green policies, I regret not being able to attend your national rally, but please rest assured that I am present here today in thought, if not physicality. The World Council for Nature, contrary to Greenpeace, WWF and other politically motivated NGOs, does not condone the destruction of nature in order to supposedly save the planet. If indeed the planet is at risk, it is from corrupt alliance of green charlatans subsidy-sucking speculators and politicians. Together, they have created a monster which is causing more devastation worldwide than there has been in 5,000 years of civilization. Civilization for my people goes back in this country 80,000 years. Biofuel, biomass and wind farms are destroying wildlife habitats at great speed, yet they do not produce any environmentally benefit at all, any environmental benefit at all. They are remedies that are worse than the illness and should be abandoned immediately. The plight of Australians is particularly poignant in that your wildlife is unique, yet your government is condemning rare species to disappear. Look at Parliament House and look at the emblem that is this country, the kangaroo and the emu. The emu is extinct from this land. The emu that was on this land no longer exists in Canberra. The Tasmanian wedge-tailed eagle will be the first to go, condemned as it is by hundreds of lethal wind turbines invading its habitat. The brolga and the orange-bellied parrot are also threatened, as are many other species. In Spain alone, wind farms are killing between 6,000 and 18,000 birds and bats every year. The figures are official, coming from 136 monitoring studies obtained by the Spanish Ornithological Society under Freedom of Information legislation. Yet bird societies like the British RSPB and Birds Australia keep this information secret, as they do with other wind farm mortality statistics around the world. In the final analysis, it is you, Australians, who will suffer the most from what was aptly described as a swindle in Dr. Etherington's book, The Wind Farm Scam. You will suffer physically from wind turbine syndrome if you happen to live within 10 kilometres or more of the wind turbines. Low frequency noise and infrasound can disturb sleep, and I know firsthand about that, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, having lived now for 6 weeks between the Cullerin turbine installation and the Capital wind farm installation, and feeling the thump, thump, thump as I went out the door to have a pee. So it'll disturb your sleep and it'll have other ill effects at great distances, yet this is being denied by the pseudo-scientific community which caters to the wind industry and its deep pockets. You will suffer as well from the visual devastation of your great countryside, from the rarefication of bird life, and from the declining economy stifled by rising energy costs and the burden of public debt, inflated by huge subsidies to wind farms and other frauds. It's not wind farms, they're not farms, they're industrial turbine installations. Last but not least, I am particularly saddened to learn that Aboriginal rights are being trampled by your misguided government. Wind farms are being installed without consideration for native title laws, thus riding roughshod over the internationally acclaimed Mabo decision of the High Court of Australia. There is no excuse for that, just as there is no excuse for killing Tasmanian wedge-tailed eagles into extinction and endangering the health of thousands of wind farm neighbours. It was written in Madrid, 16th of June 2013, a couple of days ago, by Marc Duchamp, and Marc is the chairman of the World Council for Nature, of which I am affiliated. So, the issue about no due diligence on native title, is a very real one. The Mabo decision is a decision of the High Court of Australia. It is case law. It is being ignored. Native title legislation, Commonwealth 1992, is legislative law. It's being ignored by these wind turbine developers. There is no evidence on any documentation by any turbine development that I have seen to date that gives any mention of due diligence on native title under the Act or common law native title. And yet they are bulldozing over the top of common law native title land without fail. These developments are far from economical. They are costing the taxpayer and they return the taxpayer nothing. But with that, I'm going to hand back to Alan Jones. And I applaud you and make you so welcome to country. Thank you.